Well, okay, everyone, we're back. So pretty much here's the deal now. So previously in the video, what I was told that could be the probable cause of why the agitator or spinner is not spinning in your machine, which is, by the way, just a little reminder, that's your agitator. Alright. So what I was told, the reason why these things may not spin is because it could be a clutch problem, or it could be the agitator itself. Maybe it's stripped, or it's not catching the grips, which is the teeth of the agitator or the transmission, as it should. But here's the thing, we've already checked those things and it seemed pretty fine, right? Everything was okay with that. The teeth on the agitator or spinner was good. It was in great shape, actually. And the clutch was fine. It wasn't touching the spring that was under the machine, which is it sits on top of the clutch, and the device that's within the clutch, it's supposed to be sort of adjacent to the spring, from what I'm told, right? It's not supposed to connect with each other, so that's pretty much fine there. So we've checked those things and it seemed to be having the same problem. The agitator's not spinning as it should. So what I was also told is that it could be the electrical water pump that's connected to the engine under the machine, right? So how to get to those things is you're pretty much going to have to take this whole thing off right here, right? The whole shell, okay? So I'm in process of doing that now. So with this model of machine, you're going to have 4 screws that's going to hold the back to these right here, right? As you can see, I've already taken the screws out, right? Let me see if I can turn on the light here. Okay, that's 1 screw. That's 2. And then you got 1 down here. And then you got 1 right here. Okay. So I've taken those screws out. Alright. Just to let you see it. These are the screws right here. Alright, those are the 4 screws there. So when you take off those screws there, you will notice that the back comes loose. It's pretty much loose right here, as you can see. So I can pretty much take this whole back off as it lifts up. Okay, it lifts it off the tub here. But as you can see, the front of this is still attached to something. Alright, the back is lifted, but not the front. So what this possibly could be is 2 more bolts that's holding down this side here and this side over here, right? You can probably see it. So what I'm gonna have to do now is flip this machine back on the side and see, can I detach whatever's holding it down there. It could be 2 rods or 2 screws or something, and then we should be able to lift this whole thing off, right? Because it's already loose. And then you can have easy access to the electrical water pump to see if anything's stuck in it. That's what I was told. It could be something that fell into the water pump, right? And it usually happens when you're washing your clothes, and if the water is full in this tub here, it can probably slip through these little cracks here. As you can see, it's a little opening right there, and it will go on the outside of this where the water pump is. All right, and then that water pump will suck it in to the pipeline, and it will get jammed in the water pump itself. So that could be the probable cause of why the agitator is not spinning, because the sensor from the electrical water pump is stopping it from sucking in the water to put it into the the drain. Alright, so that's pretty much what we got to do now. We got to flip this thing over and get those 2 rods out, possibly 2 rods, and we should have easy access. Now, just to let you know, some machines don't have screws, you know, like the 4 screws I just showed to disconnect the back here. So what I was told with that, you know, you can possibly just stick something under this right here, you know, like something that can wedge this off. You know, it can be like a screwdriver or, you know, anything that you can possibly use, you know, like a guarding tool or, you know, a spatula or something, a very firm spatula, and you can pop this off, right? So once you pop that off, the whole thing should pretty much just lift right off the tub. That's for a different brand, other than this one here. But as you can see, and as it was shown, you know, it was 4 screws that held in the back. So now I have to take what's holding the 2 front parts of this shell on this machine down. All right. So that's pretty much going to be the next task, and I'll get back with you guys. Okay, later. Okay guys, we're back. So here we go. As you can see, we have the machine flipped over on its side, and as I've thought and said in the last part of the video, is that I thought it could have been like 2 screws or 2 bolts or rods or anything that's holding down this shell to the basis of this machine here, as you can see, right? But come to find out, it's neither. It's neither bolt or screw or anything. You know, it's just 2 latches right here that's underneath this right here that's attached to the shell. So what you have to do is sort of like move this thing side to side to sort of get that latch off the shell here. As you can see here, it's a latch there that's attached to this, right? And that's all you got to do, and it's easy to do when you flip it on the side. So, you know, that's what you have to do if you want to like have it. If you're up in an upright position with this machine, you could just lift the shell right up off of it, and you know, you'll have access to the tub, right? And everything that's inside of the shell of this machine, right? So what we want to get to, as I've previously mentioned, is this right here, which is the electrical pump, right? Connected to the engine, which is this right here. All right. Then of course, you know, you have the transmission right there with the clutch right there. All right. So we've already checked those, and those is fine. So now this is the last resort. So as I've shown in the last video, you know, if you're washing your clothes and the water's pretty full in there, and if you have any small clothes in there, like any small socks or handkerchief or baby clothing or something like that, it can go over the tub, which is this thing here, and go within. It's like a compartment that's sit between the tub and the draining part of the machine, and then it comes down these holes here and unfortunately gets stuck in these right here. So our next move is to take this thing off, which is you can disconnect these 2 rods here that's holding it. All right, and then you get like a pliers or something to squeeze these together, and that should have the holes slide off through that, and then this thing should easily come off with no problem, and then you can look inside of it to see if anything's stuck in it. All right, so that would be the next move. So what I'm guessing, it could be like a small sock or, you know, anything small that could have been getting washed in this machine at the time, and it unfortunately just went on the side of the tub and slipped into the pump here, and that's what's preventing the agitator to spin. All right, so that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to get a pliers to squeeze these 2 things, and you know, so it can loosen up the hoses. I can actually squeeze this with my finger a little bit, and I can probably move it down, but I'm gonna get my pliers. I ain't gonna hurt my fingers doing this, whatever. But so we're just gonna disconnect these things here. I can actually do it right now. Okay, that's one. All right, and that's 2. So as you can see here, that's loose, right? And that's the pump that helps spins the agitator, right, through the transmission here. So the next thing that I got to do is just loosen up this right here, which I can do with my fingers. It's pretty hard, but I can move it down like that. Right, let's see if I can sort of do this one too. Yeah, that one right there is kind of hard. If I had some gloves on, it would be easier, but this right here is pretty difficult here. But I can still squeeze it just a little bit, slide it down. All right, as you can see, it's loose. See, it's pretty easy to take this off here. All right, and as you can see, it's one hose that's connected to the tub. And then we got another hose that it sucks in from the tub here. It sucks in through this way, then it goes through here, then it goes under, and then it pushes it through here, through the back here. And that's the drainage pipe that goes into the wall there and to the main drain that goes into the sewer. So just like I said, if it came through the tub here, through this hose here, it sucked itself into right here. So it's probably wedged somewhere in here. All right, so that's going to be our next move there. Let me see if I can sort of pull this thing. Oh, there it is. All right. Still a little bit of water in there. It really doesn't matter. You know, if you got a towel or anything, you can pretty much just, you know, get a towel and wipe that up. But as you can see here, as we're looking inside, I can't see anything on this side here. Alright, I can't see anything on the side here at the moment. So what we're going to go to now is this side. Alright, and I'm going to have to pretty much use pliers for this to take this off, because this is pretty firm. You know, I can't do this and hold the camera at the same time. So that's going to be our next move there, and after I take it off, I'll let you guys know what's going on. Alright.